We are zeroing in on healthcare innovation right now. A new investment firm, Rubicon Founders, launching today, led by former CEO of the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, Adam Boehler. The company aims to build new healthcare innovators from the ground up and invest in larger companies that reform patient care. Joining us right now is the Rubicon founder, CEO, and founder, Adam Boehler. Adam, congrats. Good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks so much, Maria. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Tell us about Rubicon. Obviously, you're launching today. Walk us through the business.
So we started the business today. We started with great partners in Oak and Welsh Carson. And we have billions of dollars that we're focusing on healthcare. And one of the things that I think is really exciting about healthcare right now is all of the dynamic change, and you see it in the public markets. You have companies that are attacking industries that are innovators that you wouldn't normally see startups, and some of them have gone public. You have Oscar Bright on the healthcare insurance side, where you have innovative new healthcare insurance companies. On the provider side, you have people like Oak Street, One Medical. So you're seeing it bubble up to the public markets, and we think there's massive opportunity because there's a renaissance going on in healthcare right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I should make sure our audience understands you helped with the formation of Operation Warp Speed in the Trump administration. You were working with the Department of Health and Human Services, and congratulations to you. Thank you for your hard work and your colleagues. We now have 3 vaccines flooding the United States, even as the CDC director, Walensky, is warning that the British COVID variant is now dominant in America as cases rise across the country. Adam, where are we on this? Do you think we have enough vaccine uptake to prevent another shutdown? And I'd love to get your sense of how you all were able to do this. When President Trump first came out and said, we will have a vaccine in 10 months, he was mocked. In fact, you had 3 vaccines within 10 or 11 months.
So, I mean, to start, I'll start with your last question, which is the time that we work the best in federal government is we work the best when we partner with America's private market, right? That's what makes America unbelievable, is our private market. So I think we did a wonderful job partnering with the vaccine makers to say, listen, we're not going to wait. We're going to speed through the steps as quick as we can in a safe way. But a lot of that was supply and production. And so you're absolutely right. A lot of people said it couldn't be done. They said it would take years. I want to give a lot of credit to the president, to the team around him, to Moncef Slaoui that led it, that believed in this stuff. I'd say now, look, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think April's going to be a big month. I'll say the current administration has done a great job kind of continuing to ensure that we have enough vaccine supply. They've purchased. They're continuing to distribute through private market, through pharmacies, through Walmart. And I think that it's going to be a big month. And if you look at Israel, look at the outcomes there, where life has returned to normal, I'm hopeful that in the next month or 2, we see something like that.
So tell me more about the company and how you will continue to contribute into this growth story. You're seeing the marriage of healthcare and technology continuing to show growth and innovation. Where are we in that story?
Well, I think what you're going to see in healthcare over the next few years is an explosion of data. So in the next couple of years, you'll probably see sequencing of a whole genome start to reach $100, so the levels we've never seen before. And that's going to mean an enormous amount of data on each individual. And the cool thing is you're going to be able to develop a lot of targeted therapies. And it's going to be really interesting seeing this marriage of the practice of medicine and all of this data, because you're going to be able to practice medicine on an individual based on their specific characteristics. So I think that's super exciting. Another area we look at all the time is senior living. Obviously a huge market, but I can't honestly say I'd like my parents to go to any of the options that are out there. So I think it's time for a renaissance in senior living as well.
I'm so glad you said that. That is a huge, great story and a growth story as we're all living longer. And Adam, I'm really glad you mentioned the mapping of the genome, because I followed that and covered that real closely 25 years ago. And what we saw was the mapping of the genome educated us in terms of our own bodies and an ability to get ahead of disease. We learned that smoking causes cancer. We learned that the foods that we eat will impact potentially heart disease and diabetes. So we changed our behavior. But what I always say is we did not learn anything about the brain. And we've got Alzheimer's and autism. Do you think the mapping of the genome will further that? It will educate us on what's behind some of the mental challenges that this country faces and the world?
100%. I mean, there are some diseases that is obvious are caused genetically or at least influenced genetically, and Alzheimer's, memory care issues, dementia are definitely in that category. And it is, I would call the genomics side, we've just scratched the surface. We've seen some major things. We've made some major breakthroughs in oncology, but I think you're going to see major breakthroughs in rare diseases. I mean, you've got thousands and thousands of rare genomic diseases that are now starting to be identified. The neurology side, the brain side is going to be huge, but it is, I mean, it is the undiscovered country of medicine, and there's a huge Moore's law in pricing in genomics. And so, you know, again, you look back a few years ago, you were looking at tens of thousands of dollars. We're going to hit $100 here in not too long, and that is going to open up a panacea of data, and you are going to be able to look individualized at every therapy for every specific person. And you've seen it's gone into diet, and what diet do you, metabolism is driven by genomics. So there is going to be so much more from a science perspective to allow physicians to really tailor your therapies and their recommendations specifically to you as an individual.
And private equity obviously sees the potential for growth. Your business is an example of that. How does Rubicon Founders fit into that story?
So for us, we're focused solely on very large transformative opportunities. My history before, I founded a number of companies. One of them is Landmark Health, which is the largest provider of in-home medical care in the country. We kind of brought back the house call for people that couldn't lose their homes, couldn't leave their homes. In these cases, we're focused on these industries, and we'll do one of two things. Either we say, look, there's no company here. We're going to specifically design a company to take advantage of this trend, or we're going to find an existing company that's a leader and purchase that and drive it. And so we're going to look for a few very targeted areas where we can make a very big difference.
I love it. I love this story. Adam, I want to continue our conversation on senior living as well. You make so many great points. Please come back soon. Congrats.
Absolutely, Maria. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thank you. Adam Boehler joining us there. Check out Rubicon Founders. Quick break and then making it.